Hi guys, welcome to DevOps School. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about Git. Git is a free and open source distributed version control system which tracking the changes in source code during software development with speed and efficiency. It is designed for coordinating work among programmers and used to track changes in any set of files. After going through this session, I promise you that the concept and understanding of the Git will be absolutely clear to you.
But before that, let me ask you a few things. Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOps School certification level courses which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry-level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
Okay, so guys, with basic workflow, I should talk about the advanced workflows also in Git. Basically, this is nothing but advanced workflow. That means working with remote repo. I never said server, understand that. Remote repo. Okay, so what is happening here? Because we four people were there, see here in this scenario, Amit, Deepak, Jagdish, Rajesh. Let's move to the bigger picture. So here in this you have Amit repository, understand this. You have Amit repository, Deepak repository, Jagdish repository, Rajesh, and we all have a repository. Understand that when I say repository, that means file system plus metadata. Understand this. I have clearly said, so please do not get confused. Everyone has a repository. No one has only code. Both has a code plus version. Now, how do we share it? So here Git suggest, this is Amit, this is Jagdish, this is Deepak, this is Rajesh. So how do we share it? So I'm not saying what I say, but I say Git says. Git said anyone can talk to anyone. So guys, any idea why this is not going up? Any idea? It's got disappear now. Okay, so yeah, so Git says anyone can talk to anyone. Means what? Can I sync with this repository? Can I sync with this repository? Can I sync with this repository? Yes, you can. Git allows you to do that. But protocol, which protocol? Because it's a remote location, you need a real protocol to interact with. One of the protocol which is supported SSH, and another one is HTTP. So here guys, see, conceptually try to understand this. Again, undo the stuff. This when I say repository, don't think about your workspace anymore. Don't think about the staging anymore. That's gone. Repository means repository. That's all. Repository, this is my repository, and here version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, 10, 20. I want to send all this version, all, not 1, 2, all, to this repository. This guy want to send to this repository. Okay, you want to send to this repository. This guy want to send to this repository. This repository. So here what is happening actually, if you look at the architecture, it's a syncing actually. Sync, repo to repo sync. This repository syncing with this repository syncing with this. So that means in a Git, every repository can sync to each other. But the question is sync. I said, remember sync. You understand the meaning of sync. Mirroring. Let me simplify this. Mirror. Mirror to each other. That means if I want to send my version to you, I'll send all my revision object to you. Mirror means you will have what I have. Simple. Mirror, copy, sync. Use this hard word. Now how can you sync? That's the question, because it's a remote location over the network. How do we sync? So here we sync through the two protocol which I already suggested, through SSH and HTTP. This is the two protocol which Git suggests. And Git says anyone can talk to anyone. But there is a problem. And the problem is, let's say if we decide to sync with everyone, then I need to talk in this core team, I need to talk 3 people. This also have to talk 3 people. This also have to talk 3 people to sync the code with each other. Like too much of noise will happen. Too much of talking will happen. Too much of communication, emails, meetings will happen, and it's not good. Then what we did, we decided as a team, 4 of us, we decided, let's do one thing. Let's not sync to each other because it's like a too much of headache. Ultimately, we work locally, everything we do locally, but ultimately we have to sync because we want to share our code. I want to get your code, you want to get my code, I want to send my code to you, I want to get your code to me. So it's like that, syncing, cloning, copying. These are the things, keywords I'm using right now. So we decided as a team, 4 of us, let's use Jagdish repository for common central repository. Again, I'm saying central repository. I'm not saying server. I'm not at all using server. So here we started doing Jagdish repository. That means what we do, see here, from now, this is me, Rajesh, right? I push my object. Push means mirroring. All of the object which is not pushed only will be pushed. Let's say here you have 10 commits and here you have 9 commits. So one object will be pushed, remaining. Let's say if I pull, okay, understand the concept, push, pull. If I pull, then if you have a 11 object here, and here if I have a 10 object, that means one is missing. So I'll get only pull, only one. So this is the way we work actually here. Push, pull, push, pull. So if you want to send, which protocol? 2 protocol, HTTP, SSH. So if I want to send, push. If I want to get, pull. Push, pull, push, pull. If I want to, except push, pull, we do nothing. Except push and pull, we do nothing with a remote repository. So now what is happening? Ajay, Rajesh and Deepak is pushing to the Jagdish repository. Now Jagdish got fed up one day, fine day. Why Jagdish got fed up? Because he said, boss, I'm working for 8 hours. But Rajesh is trying to push in the midnight. He's trying to push in early morning. This guy is crazy, he's pushing in the midnight. So do you want me to run my laptop 24/7? This is my personal laptop for my own development, QA and stuff like that. It's not the team property. So give me a chance, because I can make the laptop up and running for between 10 to 5, 10 to 6, but not more than that. But these guys are saying, no, it's not going to work like that, because I work in the night. Someone say I work in the morning. It's not going to happen like that. So what we'll do? Then we say as a team, okay, let's not disturb Jagdish here. Let's follow some different approach. Now the question is, what approach? So let's do one thing. Let's create one more repository. Yes, in one more server. One more machine, not server, not at all server. Not at all server. Remember, I'm not saying server. So there's have one machine. Okay, there's one machine, you have it, and that is located in your office location. And in that office location, I'll create one repository, and this machine will be running 24/7 and so on by team. Anyone wants to send this code to here, push. Anyone want to receive it, pull. Push, pull, push, pull. Now it is happening. So this repository is become a remote repository. Understand that I'm using the keyword very, very carefully. I say this repository is remote repository. In fact, for me, all repository is remote repository. This is me, by the way. Okay, so for me, all repository is remote repository. But this repository, the one which you find in the middle, is also you can call central repository. Okay, I'm not at all using server word. Not at all using server. So it's become a remote repository or central repository. We do the push pull, push pull, push pull, push pull. New team member has gone, come up. Let's say someone else has come. So this guy will do clone first time. Clone means you have seen the Matrix movie. We clone, right? That character. Clone means you get 100% everything. You get a whole repository. Repository means metadata plus files, everything in one go. Once you clone, then keep doing push pull, push pull, push pull. So this is how we do that. This is how we work. So guys, did you understand the concept of how Git can work? How these repository work together to share the code which you have committed in your laptop, but you want to share with other? Did you understand the concept of it? Guys?
Yep.
Yes.
So it's very simple, right? We don't do anything. You think you are doing remote? Not at all. You know, you do nothing. You do nothing in the remote. You do everything in local. Anything you do in local, and ultimately you want to push pull, push pull. Push pull means you are whatever you did in local, you are sending to others. Whatever others did in their local, they are sending to you via pulling. Same thing. First time if you are using the repository clone, then again push pull, push pull. So this is how we work in Git. But there is a problem. There is a problem. After few days, suddenly your management has come and saying, no, we hate Git. Why? Why you hate Git? Because this is not giving us the enterprise friendly feature. What is enterprise friendly feature? So organization wants not only to host one repository, but so many repositories. So many. Now the question is, how do you manage that so many? Not one, two, but hundreds of repositories. Hundreds at one place. Hundreds of remote repositories. Because an organization not having one team of 4 members, they have a 4,000 employees. Hundreds of project is running, thousands of repositories they need it to manage it. I said manage. Keyword I am using very carefully, please mind it. Managing the large number of repositories should be done. Enterprise wants that feature. Then this guy says, Linux says, I'm so busy and I have no interest in building that feature and that. Linus said no. Then enterprise got upset about it. But they cannot ignore Git because developer loves it. Engineers love this tool, but enterprises not liking this tool. Then enterprises again say, no, I need a role-based access control. Role-based access control means someone should be having more access, someone should be having less access. Linus said, no, I have no plan to develop this feature. Then one fine day, Amit came and said, no, boss, I'm not working with the command line. I'm got frustrated. I need a graphical user interface like SVN. We had a browser, right? We were able to see that everything on the browser. I need that. Linus said, no, not interested. Then Jagdish came one fine day and he says, he need a wiki integration. Linus said, no. Then someone else come and they said they need a rich GUI, they need a wiki integration, they need a issue tracking tool, they need a role-based access mechanism, they need ability to manage hundreds of repository, hundreds of ability to manage the organization, ability to manage users, ability to manage groups, role-based access, and so many integration. And every time Git says no, no. Linus says no, no, no. then that is where few organization came up and said yes. And those organizations are GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, Gerrit, and 10 plus more options are there. These organizations came up and say, no problem. If Git and Linux is not doing for you, I will do that for you. I will create a wrapper on top of the repository. I will give you GUI. I will give you ability to manage the multiple remote repository. I will give you the role-based access control. Everything I will give you whatever you need it. But because you are enterprise, you are not a developer. We don't charge developer, but because of your enterprise, we will charge you, and you have to pay for it. You have to pay for it. So that is where you see that GitHub has a cloud version. They have an enterprise version. GitLab have a cloud version. We have an enterprise version. We have a cloud version, and by the way, this is free by Google. Free by Google. Okay. Now, so now do you understand how come what these tools are doing? GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, Gerrit, what they are doing? They are doing nothing but managing your hundreds and hundreds of repository at one place. They are giving role-based access mechanism. They are giving you the rich UI, rich UI. Window is not getting minimized. See here, they are getting the rich UI. You see whatever you want. You see that there's so many features here. You go and check this, learn about this. Issues tracking, wiki integration, security related, setting related, project related, and ability to manage the multiple organizations. See here, I have created so many organizations. Look at this. These are the organization. In each organization, you create a project, team, this, that. So many options are there. So many. See your package, people, team, project, setting. So many repository I'm managing right now. You see here. So guys, this is not a Git. This is GitHub. And then we call it GitHub server. Never ever call Git server. Always you can call, because this is not a Git. This is not at all Git. It's a different product altogether. So you can call it a GitHub server, or GitLab server, Bitbucket server, or Gerrit server. I have no problem. No one will have a problem. So guys, did you understand that? The concept, how Git works, and why do we have a Git, and why we not call Git as a server, but GitHub as a server? Did you understand this? Guys, hello?
Yes. Yes.
Any questions, any confusion? Let's participate, guys.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
No.
So now that's all. I'm doing nothing. I am doing nothing actually. I am just doing push pull, push pull, push pull. So first time I have to act like a 2-3 person right now. So let's say this is me. I will change the directory. Now only talk about the repo. Forget about your code. You are done. This is MB repo1 to Raj. Okay. This is Raj. What is this? Permission denied. Why is that so? Not sure.
Maybe your folder is open.
Maybe it's open. Yeah, that's a good finding. Maybe something is open or something. No problem. I will just check this repo. Copy this. Okay. This is Raj. By the way, I'm also feeling that my PC becomes slow. So I think there is some problem with the WebEx in that case, because it is not slow, because I use my system very badly. So slowness in something I'm getting. Okay, no problem. So here, this is the one repository. It has all these things, but forget about this. Now talk about only .git that has to be shared. So what do you need to be there? So the flow is like this. See, Rajesh will push these changes to the remote repository. Okay, and from there Amit, Deepak and everyone will pull it or clone it. First time we'll clone it. So now let's push it. So I'm creating one temporary one repository here. Let's go to the temporary location, a demo temporary, and here I'm creating one repository for testing purpose. This is for this is a broad team one. Okay, this is a remote repository. Now earlier I was doing git init, now I am doing through visual. Same thing, background it's running git init only. Public repository, anyone can access. Okay, now you see here, I told you there's a two protocol. Look at this here, very careful. Two protocol. You have HTTPS, you have SSH. So URL also get changed. HTTPS they give you this URL, and SSH they give you this URL. For SSH you need a public key to be uploaded on GitHub. Your public key, I repeat, your public key will go to the GitHub under the profile setting option. For HTTPS, GitHub user ID and password will work for it. There's a good amount of instruction also is even given. You can read it, but not interested right now. This is a HTTPS URL. Copy it, and now I will do one thing. CD Raj. Okay, I have this my repository. What I will do, git push. What? This repository. But what do you want to push? Then you have to push the branch called master. Branch called master. Okay, so see here. I said I will push, someone will pull. So this is the git push to this URL. This URL you have to use it for timing. I will tell you how to minimize this aliases. And master branch I want to push it. Which branch? This branch. Okay, I'm pushing it. It asked me for the password, user ID and password. I gave it. I gave the user ID and password of my GitHub, and it's pushed it. Now how many commits I have? Let me count it. So here, git log. See, one commit and two commit. Only two commits is there. Refresh it. You got the three files. I got the three files here. I got the four files, but I think I have not committed fourth one. Yes, fourth one. So only three committed. And now how many commits you have? Look at this. How many commits you have under the commit section? Where is that commit? Two commit. Oh, so here I have a two commit or three commit? Two commit. So here you have a two commit. Look at this. Commit IG change same EA34. See that EA34. Who has committed? You can see everything. Whatever I taught you through the command line, you can see that through visual. Probably you like it. You love it. This is why enterprises are paying for your experience. Okay, 1 hour, 2 hours, all these things. So many features are there, guys. Not deep dive into that, but stick to my flow, and here it is. So I committed. Now I have to act like someone else, Deepak. So let's say I'm acting like a Deepak. So come out of these directories. The moment I come out of my repository, see, I lose the branch specification. So right now, what I have to do? I'm a new joinee. So what I need to do? I need to clone it. First time you clone it, get pull, then think about it. How do we clone it? There should be some clone URL which should be given. Okay, so here code. See the URL. If you want to clone it using HTTP protocol or SSH protocol, it's up to you. Use it whatever you want, whatever you feel comfortable. HTTP is the one which I'm using, and cloning it. So git clone. Okay, and paste it. Oh, so there's a. I think I copied, but didn't work out actually. So git clone Here it is. I'm cloning it. The directory name will be created broad team1, which I can change it anyways. But here I got the broad team1 acting like another guy. I go into this. Okay, I got this code. Wonderful. I got everything. Revision also. See, I got a revision also. Everything I got it. So can I commit my code also? So touch raju1.txt. This is my code. Okay, and git add dot git commit dot means all. Okay, all adding. So here I am adding the file. See here git log. All this command you have learned already. See third commit. Can I push it? That's push. Now this you can use the whole URL. Pull URL master. Push URL master. But what is happening? The moment you clone it, right? When you clone it, because I did in this case clone it, so that long URL will become a short URL, and they will keep it in the config file. Okay, and that will become origin. It's a aliases. We call it a git aliases. So now I don't have to use the long URL because origin is a short URL. Always whenever you clone it, you git sets for you. Can we set manually also? Yes, why not? Okay, so I'll do that origin instead of long URL and master. Now you see I am pushing my code. So earlier my code is not there. Raju is not there here. And
Once again, Rajesh, what is that URL concept you mentioned? Origin.
So URL is very difficult to remember all the time. So whenever you clone that any repository first time, so this long URL they set in the your git config as a aliases, and that alias default alias first alias is origin. So that's the reason instead of using the long URL, I use the aliases name. It's like a shortcut. Short name. Did you understand this?
Yeah, got it.
I can use the long URL also, no problem. But actually we can't. We are a developer, right? We get irritated from the typing the long URL again and again. So we just clone. I mean, Git has given one short URL, short name for it, and that we can see. I use this URL also, same thing, because I updated no last time. So whatever I had 3 commits, I given it here. Let's refresh it. See here, 3 commits you got it, 4 files you got it, raju1.txt. Now I will act like a different guy. So git bash, I'm act like a Rajesh. Okay. So right now my repository in E drive, broad and Raj. Now you see here, I don't have a Raju in my repository. So what should I do? I should pull it. But can I do origin here? Actually, I did not clone this repository, so I don't have origin created. So can I create it? Yes, you can create it. Git remote add origin. This is the command to create it. Okay, it's a one-time activity. Okay, and then I created shortcut in this also. Now can I do this pull? I did the pull, and now we got this raju1.txt. So you saw that how we do the push pull and first time clone, and we work together as a team. So we all work together as a team. So everyone will push now here, and everyone will pull from here. But this is not a server. It's not a Git server. It's a remote repository. GitHub server, you can call it. GitLab server, you can call it. So guys, did you understand this overall concept by now? Guys, did you understand?
Yeah.
So ultimately, guys, learn everything to do in local only. And now I taught you commands, but I'm so sorry I don't have a limited time. But there's a one GUI tool also which you can try. This is called Source Tree. If you don't like Source Tree, you can use Visual Studio Code also. I think some of you must be loving the Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code also.
Can we try the tortoise?
Yes, tortoise. You can try. If you are coming from the background of SBIN, why not? You should try tortoise Git. You can try Eclipse also, guys. You can try Visual Studio. You can try JetBrains. See, any ID you go, you have a Git integration in place. Okay, if you want standalone installer, you can use this one. If you want to use this ID, these are the things you can do. These are the standalone installer. These two are standalone, and these all remaining are this one. But let me tell you here one of my experience. If you really want to enjoy, yeah, sir, please mute yourself from someone. There's a background noise coming. Yeah, so if you really want to see my experience, if you really want to enjoy Git, then you should use command line, to be honest, because you know Git GUI don't help us. I mean, definitely in branching, merging, and visualization, it helps you. But if you get a fond of command line, there's nothing like that. But again, no matter which tool you are using, the workflow will never change. Never change. Now you did through command line, then you get a one quick context menu for adding and then committing. Simple. And seeing the logs like this. Okay. So now in terms of advanced workflow, create a repo in GitHub. Okay. Then git push URL and master, and another user git clone URL, another user git add, git commit, git push origin, master. Step 5. First user git remote add origin URL, git pull URL, master. Git pull origin URL, origin master. That's all. Did you understand this advanced workflow?
So this commit, can we treat it as one more staging? Because as part of add, we are putting the files, and again commit is something like committing the changes, but they are not moving to central repository.
No.
So
Commit will not.
have this.
Commit, I said very clearly. We spent good amount of time. Commit will do staging to repo. Add will do the working directory staging. Very clearly. Please do not get confused.
Yeah, that's my point is, in case if you are going to have central repository, then it's something like my code will be live. I mean, the actual it can be used for other developers. In that case, I need to definitely push the code.
Right. Yeah.
Until then, even if you're going to have commit, it will be in your local system.
Yes, correct. You got now. Why? Because there's only we have a distributor, right? Now in SBN, when you commit, it'll go to the server. In Perforce, when you submit, it'll go to the server. But here it's not like that, because it's not a server and client base. It's a distributed, which I told you somewhere here. Okay, guys. So this is the workflow. I'm so sorry I'm not giving you lab, but because I have a few questions which I want to answer. Okay, so this is
Rajesh, Arun here. So far we discussed, how we are adding the file into the Git and GitHub, right? So if it is a code, right? Usually in Perforce or FTS, right? So we usually do a review before we commit, right? See, but here how we are going to review it before we commit. So see, some developer may change something, but we may overwrite that, right? It's going to lost. So how we are going to avoid that?
That's a very good question. I can tell you the conceptually how it works. There is a very good tool for the review. If you like to use it, please use this Gerrit, which is developed by Google. Okay, it's a free tool actually. Okay. So what happens conceptually? I would like to. Can I cover these questions last because I have a pending topics for that. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Okay, guys, let's move on. Now, what is head? What is head? Someone has asked this question, so I'm going to answer.
Rajesh, one question. I mean, like when we are saying git commit, will it be pushing the code from the staging area to the git that I have in my local or to the remote? Because now we have got two repository basically. So one will be in my local and the other another one is in remote. So when I'm saying git commit, where will it move the code from the staging area?
Sir, Avinash, you should not ask this question now because I believe I spent whole day, half day, on the explaining you the same concept actually. So you missed that concept initially 2 hours.
No, I'm little confused about this. So the moment you introduce this repo thing, so the thing is that I know that we are moving the code from the staging area to the, I mean, the Git folder that you showed.
Huh.
That is there in my local.
Okay.
So parallelly, how the
Wait.
code is also moving
Let
to
me
the.
let me complete the flow. Probably it will clear your confusion. But let's understand this. This is your laptop, okay, and this is this is the Git, okay. This is the GitHub, okay, and this is your laptop. So what you do? Simple. You code in the working directory. That's the one area. No versioning is here. One code you have it here. Then you want to move it to staging area. So move from staging area, and then keep. I'm a very good programmer. I keep coding. I modify the code here. Keep adding, keep adding, keep adding. End of the day, I want to find it out which are the code which I have in staging, which I move to the repository. This still I'm in the laptop repository. Here it is. Now this is done. This commit is done. So here ultimately, if you keep committing, you keep getting the multiple commits here version. Now this is your repository, local repository. Now when you push, this changes push to the other repository which is on GitHub. So here same way everything gets stored. Forget about this, only this, remember this. So here this is the repository.
Okay, all right, got it, Rajesh, got it.
Huh?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay guys, so the question was what is where is it? What is head? So understand that conceptually first. See what happens.
Rajesh, one question. Like when we do commit, like we see that the SHA, one hashing code will come, right?
SHA code will come, 40 character SHA value.
SHA code, yeah,
Huh.
SHA code.
Huh.
So is that like that code will be it will be for every time, like in the when we do the commit in the local
True.
repository and when we
True. Every
do for
time,
that central repository?
yes, that's true. Every time you commit, it will create a 40 character SHA value. And let me tell you, let me add one more point. That will be universally unique. I repeat.
Okay, even if it will go to central repository also.
Yes, I said universally. Universal means not your company, my company, your laptop, my laptop,
Okay.
my project, thousands of projects. No, I said universally unique.
Mhm.
Not I am saying SHA is claiming that. Got it?
Yeah, so that SHA as an algorithm is RSA based or what?
So I think I will not get into that topic right now. But if
Okay, no
really,
problem.
yeah, because that will, because I don't want to give you the half answer, and if I don't feel giving the full answer, then I feel like little lost. So because
No
I don't
problem.
want to think, but I'll give you resources if you really want to learn. I have a few good materials on this and few recordings also. If you really want
Okay.
to learn,
Yeah, absolutely.
uh, Git, how Git works, this you try. Okay. But again, there is one more article you can read, how Git works, and it's a very good topic actually. You love this topic if you really have a fantasy to know the algorithms and all. It's a good topic actually. Git internal. There's a 2 URL I'm sharing with you, which you can please
Okay,
spend
sure.
some
Thank
time,
you.
which will help you.
Yeah, thank you.
Here it is. So both URL, just please spend some time. This is mine and this is a Git community. So good one.
Can you place in the chat?
I'll share these notes. No, I'm putting in the GitHub, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
Thank you.
guys. So now the question someone asked me, what is head? So understand this. What is head? So what happens? Head is a tip of the current branch. Head is a tip of the current branch. Now some of you might be asking, what is a branch? So guys, let's go back to the what is branch. So branch is a line of code. Okay, branch is a line of code, is a separate line of code for what? For bug fixing. So you should not disturb the mainline branch, feature development, and so many other reasons, guys. By the way, branching is free in Git. Is free. Yeah, you can create as many branches. Don't worry about that. In SBN, it's not free. It's a paid. Why paid? That means if you have 1 GB of branch, if you create a 1 more GB, it'll become a 2 GB. One more branch. But in a Git, if you have a branch of 1 GB and if you create a 10 more branch, 4 KB will be added. That means 10 is to 4K, 40 KB. 40 KB, just imagine. So this is why we call it branching is free. So we have a branches concept. So first time the master, always we work with the branches. So this is the repository, okay? And here we have a default branch which is called master branch. Every time whenever you commit, actually it goes to the branches. So this is the commit 1, this is the 2, 3, 4, like that. If you want to create a new development branch, you create a new development branch like this, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this is the branching. Okay, how to create a branches, how to merge the branches, how to resolve the conflicts and all. I'm so sorry, I'm not talking about, but I'll share some of my recordings which you can practice and you'll get it. Okay, but
So Rajesh, sorry, one question. Like branch will be coming into the central repository or the local repository?
sir, conceptually it will come. You tell me, you suggest me where the branch will come.
Like local.
It will be in a local. Remember, I said very many times, nothing
Mhm.
we do in the remote, sir. Nothing we do in remote. Everything we do in the local. And let's put it like this. I work in the master branch here. Then I created development branch here. I created a feature branch here. I created any branch. Now, if you want to share this master branch, you push the branch. Remember, I always said you are pushing the branch. You see here. I see here. Look at my screen. Push what? This URL. Which branch? Master branch. Pull master branch. You are pushing and pulling master branch. So same concept. If you push this branch will be created here. If you push the development branch, this branch will be created here. Same repo. If you push the feature branch, it will be pushed here. Now, if someone has pushed in the development branch, you can pull it from here. It will go here. Come here. Are you getting the concept?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now I was talking about so branching and stuff like that. So here we create a branches, but the question was something else. Okay, question was, what is a head? So guys, head is a tip of current branch. Head is not a top. I never said top. I said tip. Understand that. There's a keyword. We should always play a keyword very carefully. So we will always be knowing that. I said tip, not top. That when I said top, that means it's the last commit of that branch. but I never said last. I said tip, means last tip of the current branch. So how it is different, let me show you. See here, git log, in short I am saying one line. These are the 3 commits I am having, okay, all together. Now what is my head, you tell me. So my head is right now this one, but this is also my top of the current branch. This means this is my head, you see here, this is my head, but this is my head, but this is also the last commit of my branch. But if I check out the older version, when I say check out, that means, see here, you keep, see here, you keep pushing the changes. Think about only laptop, guys, think about only laptop. Okay, you keep pushing changes here all the time. So version is here, right? This is the version. Sometime what you want the older version in your workspace. This is called checkout process. This from here to here it travel, you call it add commit. From here to here it travel, we call it checkout process. So can I do one thing? Can I check out the older branch? Let me show you here. Now let me show you here. So here, how many commits I am having? 3 commits. I want to check out which version? This version. Paste it. And you see here, right now, see here, I am at this, and if I see git log -- one line, it's a short way to depict. See, where's my head? You see that head is moved. But that's not a last commit of my branch, remember. So, wherever you are working, to that particular page, what is the most latest commit will become a head. That's the reason we call tip of the current branch. Now if you want to go back, git checkout master, means I'm saying, okay, I want the last commit of my branch called master, and I got it. Git log -one line, and you see I got all 3. So head changes, guys. So head is always a current branch. Now there is a way to also interact with it. If you want to see head, show HEAD. This is the last one. If you want to see one older, then like this. There's spelling mistake, like this. So many things are there. You can check it out. So I hope this is clear. Now master branch conceptually I told you. Now how do we do undo? Undo means let me cover this. Undo means, in short, let's understand this. See here, undo means, see, always you travel from here to here, then here to here, in your laptop only. This is called add, this is called commit. Can we do one thing? I don't want this, I want to revert back. Means I want to go from here to here and here to here. And you cannot undo at repo, because if you do undo, then there is no use of versioning actually. So undo you cannot do that, but revert you can do that. If your code is at this one, you can go back to this one and push to this one. Okay, that is called revert process, not undo. So this is something you can do that. So let me quickly show you conceptually. So here right now, if I do status, just status, see, everything is clean. Now can I bring one more file which is called clean.txt. This is the file I got it. Where is this file? In working directory. Can I get rid of it? How can we get rid of it? Clean undo. I'm doing undo, okay? -f-d, and you see that file is gone. Now again I will introduce one more file. This time I will name this file as a reset. Where is this file? Git status. Where is this file? It's in working directory. Can I send this to the staging area? Yes, it's gone to staging area, but I want to bring back to the working directory. So git reset and reset.txt, and see where it is, working directory. So here what I did, I had a file here, I got rid of file. I had a file here, I reverted back to here, undo that to the last stage. But here you cannot do that. So here what you can do, revert. So how it works, let me show you here. Git log hyphen hyphen one line. You see the last commit, I have this one. Okay, can I do that one more commit here? So I am committing here touch good.txt one together just to save time. Git add dot in one go, git commit. It's a good commit, guys. When I say good commit, that means it's a good code which is not failing. Okay, it's a good commit. So if I see that log, I got a good commit, this is the good commit. Now I will do the bad commit also. What is bad commit? Bad commit means the code is not getting compiled, that is the developer has made some problem that need to be fixed. This is a bad commit. See here, you have a bad commit, this is a good commit. So now what we need to do, because my team is pressurizing to revert back, so what I will do, look at this one more time. This is the good commit, this is the bad commit. So this should be pushed on top of the bad. So what to do? I need to revert back this. So how to do that? Revert this code, copy and enter. You'll have to ask this a VI editor. You'll have to tell why you are reverting big. Give me the reason. I gave the reason and submit. It says reverted back. Now you see here. See here. This is a good commit. This is a bad commit. I reverted bad commit. Automatically this will become this. Understand that? Revert bad means this. So let me validate also. Git diff copy difference command through difference I'm saying between this. See, there is no changes. Can I diff between the 6 and this one? There will be changes, which is called bad.txt. Okay, so this is the way you can do undoing. Understand the conceptually should be very strong. I always stress on the concept stuff, because command is just a matter of minutes to learn in DevOps world. Okay, so here I get rid of it, then from here to here I moved it, and here you cannot do that, because if you do undo, the concept of versioning will get disappeared. So here you can revert the code, history will be maintained, you can revert the code. So guys, did you get these questions undoing the stuff?
Rajesh, one question, like you said we can revert the code from the local repository. When we revert the code from the local repository, it will go to the staging directory or it will go to the working directory?
Okay, sir, you have to use the keyword very carefully. First of all, revert the code in the local repository. Everything we do in the local only, nothing we do in the remote. So forget about that. So now can you rephrase your questions properly? So I will feel confident little bit. I'll feel happy.
Yeah, sure. Like yeah, we're just learning. So like excuse us like for that jargon. Okay, so what my question is, when we revert the code from the local repository, and the code will be coming into the staging directory or the working directory?
Okay, so here what your question is, this is the bad code, this is a good code. When we revert this code, this changes will be there in the here or here.
Yes.
This is the question. Let me show you.
Yes. Yeah.
See here, git log hyphen one line, just for short. So this is the, I am again doing the revert, git revert this one. See here, where is this code? I will open up new console. New console, broad team, git status. See, changes to be committed. What is saying? So where is this file?
Stage.
Stage. So that has come in stage, but you will not realize it. Why? Because the moment you come out of it, they will commit also. Revert has an inbuilt commit capability. You will not realize it, but architecture wise, yes. If you, what they will do, I'll tell you what they will do. They will when you revert this code, they will put in the staging and immediately they will commit on top of it. So that is one
Okay.
command. You will not experience those commit, but you can, if you work with if you want to really understand the anatomy of that command, then you can understand. And you see that moment I save this file, and suddenly it's become inserted, and you see here. See. So is that answer your question?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So
Thank
revert
you.
will do something. You don't need to worry about it in a simple way.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So this is the one of the last question which I'm going to answer right now is a code review. Now, code review you have in the GitLab also, GitHub also, and Gerrit also. Gerrit is very strong in code review. Okay. So here what happens basically, this is a more or less process. Okay, more or less process. What we happen, this is a GitHub, okay, or Gerrit, and this is my local repository. So when we push from the local repository to GitHub, then it is not storing in the master branch. Here you are here you did the coding in the master branch, but if we don't push to the master branch, they block your access. The question is where you push it. So they have one reference branch which is called mref or something like that. So they push to this. People will review to this. If they approve this, then automatically merge may happen, or manual merge also happen to this, and this is become your manual. So overall, all the tools wherever you go, GitHub, Gerrit and all, more or less this fundamental is been applied. So you will push to some branch where the first code review will happen, approval will happen, manual or automated through CIs, and then automatic merge will happen, because this is one branch, this is one branch, and between the two branch it can be merged anytime. And ultimately understand the concept. Whenever you merge two branches or two repository, just the object which is being shared, nothing happens. It's just the object. So here, when I say understand that concept, again, there's one branch here, there's one branch, and there's one branch. So when I say do branches, here three objects are there, and here two objects are there. This is 1, 2, just again 1, 2, 3, and here 4 and 2. So this 2 is matching. Now when you merge these 3 to this branch, then here 1 will come and 3 will come. 2 is already there, 4 is not need to there, because if you are not merging this way. So this is what it happens. Make sense?
Yes.
Rajesh, so every time we commit, I mean, it will be like it will overwrite it. I mean, it will not show like conflict has happened or something like that in JIT.
No, commit is a different process. Conflict is a different process. Okay, commit is basically your whatever you have. Understand, again I'm repeating same thing. Commit means whatever you modify here, you send to here and then did here. When you say conflict, then there is a two branches in your repo. There is a master branch and there is a development branch in the repo. Okay, in the repo. So when you merge these branches together, because you are working the development branch, you work merging here to master branch, then conflict will occur. Not in the commit and add will not have a conflict.
Okay.
Yeah. So between
okay, in the same branch, it will always be like a override, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Rajesh, one question for the code review. In our application, we use the Perforce. So what happened, whenever we do the check-in before that, we give for that code review. So there is a concept called shelving. So whenever we put the code to shelf directory, so that will be temporary directory. So in the Perforce, we refer each change as a change list number. So while doing the shelving only, we'll have the change list number. So here also in the Git also the same thing happens. Like when you mention it will be not going to the actual master branch. First it will go to the temporary place, and the same code will be there when we have pushed for the review.
Something similar concept. What happens? Remember, Perforce is based on the server and client models, whereas what they do, they instead of committing the code, they sell the code and push it to the perforce. Whenever you sell, automatically get to the perforce some temporary location. So in the perforce, what
Yeah.
happens? Let me tell you. In the perforce also, there is a temporary location, and when
Yes.
this successful, then basically you get committed to the main branch, which is called trunk.
Yeah.
We call it depot. Sorry, in
Yes.
perforce we call it depot, which is a depot.
Yeah.
Now something similar happening here. Here, what is happening? This master branch you will have in the push to the master temp branch. Okay, temp branch. Here, what you are pushing basically commit ID 1, 2, 3, 4. So here you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, but here you have only one. This real branch you have 1, 2, 3 only, and you know that branching is free in the Git, so you can create as many branches.
Mhm.
So here you pushed it 1, 2, 3, 4. You got it. Someone will review fourth one, and he find okay, this is cool, nothing to worry about. So he will approve that, and this only one commit will get merges in here. This is how it happens. Object gets shared. Understand that object concept. And one object may represent one file, or it may represent thousands of files also.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, guys. So I think we are done with it. I'm so sorry. I know that many of you have a questions. Many of you are interested to learn more about Git, but I have a limitation. I hope you understand. But there should not be any limitation for the learners. Basically, if you really want to learn, if you want tutorials, if you want videos, if you want slides, and many more things, at one place you get it, and that place is this one. So right now, let's say you want the Git related stuff. So here, so you want the tutorials, click on it. Video, click on the quick jump here. Notes here. PDF slides here. HTML slides here. Blogging here, and many more sample codes here. So everything you have it in that URL. I have linked it. So at one place you get it. And I have a YouTube channel also, DevOps School. We have a lots of videos over there. Please check it out. That will help you to learn more about Git, and I'll help you. So this again WebEx pop-up has come. So here you see this is LMS. You can just try all this stuff, and then it'll help. Okay, guys. Any questions? Last questions, which I'm going to take it up. Any question? Okay. So those who wants to continue practicing it, probably if you want to have a little bit less lunch hour, you can have notes here. I'm updating the notes, by the way, whatever I showed you. You will get the recordings also of this training. So for sure. So this is the notes. Commit changes. Done, guys. So can we go for the lunch break now if you do not have any question?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So we are going for the lunch break now, and we will come back exactly at 2:10 p.m. IST. Okay. So let's come back after the lunch exactly at 2:10 p.m. IST, and at that time I will teach you Nexus, which is our next tool. Okay. Nexus was one of the wonderful tool, but remember it is for this one, executable images, PDFs, words, Excel, basically binary file. So I'll teach you. That is also a very good tool. You love it. So let's meet up at 2:10 and then let's get going. Okay. Can we wrap it up this session now?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. See you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for watching. To watch our complete session, enroll for our premium membership. Click onto the join button and enroll yourself with the best suited option.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Want to study further? Subscribe to our paid membership to get a deep dive into each and every topic. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our DevOps School channel and hit the bell icon to learn more. Keep learning.